All right. A very good morning to you, and thank you again for joining us. The show is The People's Court, and our topic of the day is the Church, Judiciary and NGOs accelerating hustler doctrine here in the country that is Kenya. Thank you so much. My name is Mira Mugutu, and of course, to lead us through this discussion is none other than Dr. David Matsanga himself there. Once he's able to join us, then we shall proceed with the show. And of course, on the other end also is Professor Jared Onyari. Professor, good morning. All right. Also waiting to join us there. Doctor, a very good morning to you, and take it over.
Good morning, Miriam. Thank you very much. Oh, Professor, you have resurrected.
Good.
And Wesonga, we can't see you.
Yes, good morning, Dr. Matsanga. I'm a bit having a few technical hitches from my end, but I think I'll be able to use the audio and take part in the discussion.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I concur with the National Cohesion Commission that the use of the word hustle is very dangerous for this country, Kenya. Why am I saying so? I am saying so because Kenya is only 57 years old of independence. The social structure of Kenya still depends on the colonial infrastructure that we had from 1963. Very few changes have been made. The same houses that were built are still the same. We are renovating. We have not reached a stage of a middle class income earning nation where you can introduce class struggle. That's my point number one. I don't know whether Miriam picked it nicely. I disagree with the word hustler. And I agree with the National Cohesion Commission that intends to prohibit the usage of the word hustler versus dynasty. Kenya is 57 years old of independence. It has not seen any of these infrastructures that were built by the colonial master. Nothing much has changed. Paints have changed on buildings. Pathways have been made into different tarmac. Expansion has been rapid, but not well planned, which must also come in a class struggle. As a lecturer of class struggles and a political classic theories, I see a danger in Kenya and the Kenyans labeling each other as a hustler versus rich or dynasties. I see a question of Robin Hood of Nottingham, a man who went to steal from the rich and pretending to be giving the poor, but taking some to build his own empire, and even stealing from the poor, pretending to organize them, but to build an empire. Therefore, it is sad, Miriam, for anybody to tell me that there is a class struggle in Kenya. Just a minute. Miriam, take over. There's an important call here.
All right, very well. And as we wait for Doctor to take care of that very interesting introduction there that Doctor was making and help us understand the politics of classism that now we see play out in the country that seems to be pitting the poor Kenyans, who are now called hustlers, against who the people who are perceived to be elites, the politics of elitism as well in this country. So quite interesting there. So once Doctor is done with that, then he will come and continue to help us understand in the broad way this politics of classism. But Professor, you are here, and when you look at what has been happening and now this narrative that is being advanced, we've been following there very closely. What is the dangers surrounding this kind of politics?
If I carry on from where Dr. left, and before I come to the question you're asking me, Miriam, words have got meaning. Words have got meaning. And I totally agree with the Haitian Commission that never should we allow anybody in this country to take advantage of our young people who are vulnerable, people who are unemployed, people who are struggling with the struggles of life every day. You call them conmen, you call them fraudsters, you call them tricksters, you call them prostitutes. Miriam, we are having young children growing. Is that message we are telling them? What if your son comes, Miriam, and tells you, I'm a thief, I'm a conman, I'm a fraudster. When I grow up, I will want to be a trickster. So from there on that, Miriam, here is, let us have politics and ideologies. This is what I stand for. This is what I want to do. This is what defines us. That's what will take the country forward. And from peace and conflict background, Miriam, we have had a very, very terrible history in the recent past in our country. We had narratives, 41 versus them, 41 versus us versus them. What is this us? Miriam, that is very dangerous. Nobody makes application, Miriam, to be born wherever you are born. Nobody made application to be born in a rich family. Nobody was made application to be born in a poor family. So what we do, God has created us, and we have found ourselves here. We only need to do, Miriam, is to live upright and honest life and be truthful and face the challenges of life. And there is no another way of succeeding in life apart from working hard and apart from giving people equal opportunities so that they can excel. Miriam, when we go to class, both children of the rich and the poor, we do the same exams. We read in the same class. We cover the same syllabus. And when exams comes, Miriam, we have had cases of children from poor background succeeding. And they have ended up becoming the best engineers in this country, the best doctors in this country, the best accountants in this country. Miriam, that is the way we change we change the society. So on this, the national question we don't want to go to this country where we were in 2007, 2008, Miriam.
All right, very well. And as we wait there for Doctor to come back, of course, we know a very interesting place that the politics of hustler has been playing out, and this is the church. And of course, some bishops and pastors in North Rift recently supported Deputy President William Ruto's close relationship with churches, his cash donations and handouts, saying they need his help. Clergymen led by Bishop Simon Kimei said any money or handouts given to the church was cleansed and sanctified regardless of its source. The sentiments were echoed by Bishop John Korir and Pastor Joseph Tor. They said those accusing the DP of engaging in graft have no capacity to judge anyone and should instead join hands in supporting God's work. So you've seen the politics of the hustler playing out widely in the churches, and we see that is just a bit of a few clergy, and one of them said there, we really don't care the source of that money. We need the help. We need the money to the church, and once it comes to church, that money is cleansed. So please don't tell us that it is from the fruits of corruption there. This is the clergyman talking.
Yes, Miriam, first and foremost, I would really like to strengthen the point that Dr. Matsanga has begun to talk about, and also what Professor Jared Onyari has said, that it's a very, very, very divisive clause to use people against one another, creating a class of hustlers versus dynasties. It is just the same thing that happened prior to the 2007-2008 elections, where we had the 41 against 1 tribes in the election. And you know, the end results were a lot of people. We had skirmishes and a lot of human lives were lost. And therefore, when someone is trying to use the same narrative to ride on it and be able to send to power without regarding the lives of the people of Kenya, the peace and the unity of the country, then it's very retrogressive, it is very dangerous, and the security forces and all the stakeholders who are given that responsibility to ensure a cohesive country, like the Kenya National Cohesion and Integration Commission, should really move with speed and be able to curb such kind of narratives from politicians. And the deputy president should henceforth cease from using such a divisive narrative and join hands with the president in enabling the country to forge a very unified path. Number two, Miriam, it's very unfortunate that the Church of Christ today, as they call it, has really disregarded the mission of the gospel and really fallen prey to the loose money of that is a proceed of impunity and corruption. And if Jesus was to live today, Miriam, I think he would also storm the church like he did in Jerusalem and whipped some few people there who are using it as some entity of business. And it's very unfortunate, really, because these are individuals who various agencies of government have labeled as ones who have been involved in looting public coffers. And when they take this money to the pulpit, these men of God never raise a question. They never raise an eyebrow to ask, where do you get these millions of shillings that you donate each and every Sunday to our churches? They don't do the due diligence to ensure that this money is not the same money that is depriving Kenyans of medicines in their hospitals, that is depriving Kenyans of dams, and in Kerio Valley, where we had people dying because of a landslide. And if these dams were there, then we wouldn't have lost any life in Kerio Valley. So I think the church is in business, save for a few who have stood against these greed and acts of impunity. But the rest of the clergymen who have been seen in Karen, who have been praising the deputy president with all kinds of accolades that are not genuine, these are the people who have been a beneficiary of the corruption money, and they need to some kind of repentance, or sometimes some form of a redemption before they can be able to proceed and preach the gospel. Because Professor once said, even before Zacchaeus was allowed to join Christ as one of his apostles, he had to renounce whatever action that he did in the past, and he had to return each and every coin that he unlawfully took away from the people. And that is what we expect. If William Ruto has to go back to the church and the church leaders have to endorse him and embrace him, then let him return the money that it is said he has stolen. Let him return all the public land that it is alleged that he has stolen. And also let him make clear the source of the millions that he donates to the same church. That is my take, Miriam.
Mm-hmm. And still on church, I don't know, Doctor, if you've been able to join us back. Good morning. All right, Doctor shall be joining us very soon. Professor, why do Why do you think that the church has been... Yes, go ahead.
Let me have something to say on the church as a writer to what Daniel has said.
Mm-hmm.
Miriam, sometimes when I look at our clergy, the men of the cloth, their understanding of theology, their understanding of divinity, Miriam, I don't. You know, someone wakes up one morning, he buys a cloth, he buys a uniform, he buys a car, and he calls himself a bishop. There was this one who appeared the other day, Miriam, at Sugoi. I know it was a slip of the tongue, but he never went forward. He never went ahead to correct. Neither to somebody who came after him to say, "Oh, mtu wa Mungu amefanya makosa." He said Solomon killed Goliath with one stone. Is that what you read in the Bible?
I saw that, and then he cut his throat very slowly.
And nobody corrected that one. Imagine, Miriam. Our young people have gotten that message, our children. And then the other one has told them Solomon, and they will say, "Oh, the man of God said when he was before the deputy president, he said it is Solomon." How are you going to demystify that? What I want to say, what I'm trying to say, Miriam, the understanding of theology and the understanding of the Bible and the Word of God to some of our church leaders is wanting. I have no doubt, Miriam, if you see in the modern times some of the evils being committed by in the name of the church, Miriam, there's no doubt. Leave alone the money which the deputy president is taking them. We have had church ministers who are corrupt. We have had church leaders fighting until one dies. The most recent, you saw Rachel Maria around Uriri, what happens? Even in my own church, we have had this. There's a lot of corruption. There's immorality going on, Miriam. So, Miriam, when you have gone to bed and you have dined with the devil, you don't seek the deliverance. So even if the money which is coming from the deputy president, and they know they are in Kenya, they don't see where there's corrupt money. But I pray, Miriam, as Daniel has said, and the word of God says, if Jesus could be around, he will take a whip and whip them. But I'm telling you, Jesus will not come from heaven to come and do that work. Miriam, we have to do that work. And we have to stand firm and tell our church leaders, our clergy, they are on the wrong. And they are not shepherding God's sheep in the right direction. If they cannot protect the tax money which is meant for the development, Miriam, I forward and missed the days of Alexander Muge, Bishop Okuru, Bishop Gitari, Archbishop Mwanawansik, Miriam, Reverend Inchoya. They were committed, Miriam. Still, we are able to have the democratic space we have in this country. So if we are the thinking like these ones, like these ones, like now they know very well, Miriam, they know that the deputy president is not wrong. They can't tell him.
But they're saying one of
instead they invite him to bring money.
And one of the bishops there,
causing confusion.
Professor, one of the bishops
Miriam,
there,
hear this.
Simon Kimei, said that the money which is being brought to the church was cleansed and sanctified regardless of its source.
Who look at that kind of theology and that kind of thinking, Miriam. It was cleansed by who?
I think they'll pray over it. I don't know. Put some.
Miriam,
I don't know.
Miriam, when you were to over-sacrifice, let me just tell you, Miriam, you were to take an animal without blemish. You were to take an animal which is not ram. Miriam, look at the sacrifice of Abel and Cain, which sacrifice was accepted before God. Miriam, this one I have clear my understanding of the Bible. We can go to a contest. You cannot steal money and take to God. God does not accept that money and forget about that one. And these are the kind of, is it 310 you plant You know, they have come with all the. We have seen even some of. I don't want to mention names here. They insult people. They beat people in church. They say that I will close those kama kioski yangu, and you see people flocking those churches. So Miriam, that is very unfortunate. But still, Miriam, we are here to tell them they are hearing. That's not the word of God does not say so, and God accepts good sacrifices. And I was trying to say that the point I wanted to make here is a person, Miriam, who has taken your animal, your cow, you are milking for your children, and you can see that neighbor is the one who has got your cow. And then people come in and then they say, let us now negotiate, let us now reconcile. Then he will be giving you 1 liter in the evening. He takes the rest of the liters, he takes in the morning, then he brings you one. What kind of justice is that?
And he still keeps the cow.
So proper justice, Miriam, stand firm and call sin by its name. A spade and not a big spoon. That's what will take this side. The time of hypocrisy and pretense should be stopped by our church leaders.
So we've seen, Daniel, this hustler doctrine is becoming a very strong ideology here, and a lot of Kenyan superhouse may not even understand the true meaning of this word, really getting enticed and falling into this movement or doctrine, if I should call it that. And why do you think the church would be the place politicians would use to advance this kind of ideology? And why is it that the church leadership is in agreement with it?
Yes, thank you, Miriam. And Dr. Matsanga is there back. I think he'll take over before I come in.
All right. Doc, Karibu. I didn't know you were there.
Thank you very much, Miriam.
Yes.
Separation of doctrines is very important. Let's separate the doctrines of the church, the original church, the transformed, the evangelical, the showbiz, and the drama. If you look at Martin Luther, the reformist, the man who said he disagrees with the Roman Catholic Church. Google him, see his views. He came to set up a church across the waters. The island of Britain took over the church of Martin Luther. Some parts of the island scattered, Northern Ireland took the Roman Catholic Church. The Scottish took another model, modified what Martin Luther said. What the original Martin Luther said. The mainland Britain took, there's somebody who has got his equipment still working. So you put it lower. Either Karanja, you put it low as you watch, you can also put it low. The mainland Britain stuck on the original doctrine of the Anglican Church. That's why you find the doctrine has shifted. But the Anglican Church has equally remained the only church, the Anglican and the Roman Catholic. The Catholic Church, the two have remained the pillars of the original doctrines of religion on earth. The American model of evangelical showbiz, where you have to put loudspeakers, microphones, and the dancers and the do, then you come and preach, is what is killing Kenya and Africa. 3/4 of the churches in Kenya are evangelical, based on the theory where they go to United States, pick doctorates, come back after reading the 10 Commandments, then they say they are bishops and they start preaching to us. What they preach is what they don't eat. They eat different. If they are preaching to eat a lion, there is an antelope running. Then the lion ends up eating both the antelope and themselves. You have seen church leaders in Kenya and in Africa of late. Some of them even they marry people's wives. They seduce people's wives. Scandals have erupted among the church leaders who have eloped with other people's wives, which is unheard of in Britain when you're a church leader, which is unheard of in a Catholic church. The Catholic Church stopped any bishop of marrying because they wanted them to devote their lives to God. And that's why it has remained a very strong church. From the days of Nikolai Machiavelli, the barbarians, Emperor Nero, it grew stronger with assets until it remains into a shell of a state called the Vatican. Now, when you come to Kenya, most of the preachers are fake. You can't preach to people to do self-restraint when you have a plane lying at Wilson Airport. You are leaving the church in a motorcade. You preach to the people to take cover and take security. Very important while you walk home. But you have bought an armored Range Rover. Which crisscrosses around the parish. One tire of the Range Rover armored could change 1,000 households. The change of doctrine, therefore, changes there. Whereas today, the church that I believe in, I am an assistant warden of the Church of St. Mary. We budget for every 10 pence, £1 that you give, we budget for it. And I swear, Miriam, if you sit in that committee of the church, where I sit in St. Mary Church in New Addington Village, where several very powerful footballers like Ian White, Wright, everybody, all these showbiz, because I live near their homes, come, we budget for every 10 cents, every £1. And if you sit on the budget committee of the church, because I'm an assistant warden, I sit on the budget committee. They have even budgeted for Mr. Olasapiti. you hearing me? They have budgeted for Olasapit. A donation. Someone has come and put his offering. If the church has collected £600 on a Sunday, Mr. Olasapit in All Saints Church in Nairobi on Valley Arcade Road or Valley Road, I have budgeted for him in a church in London, in Croydon, 10 pence. That 10 pence goes to the Anglican Church in Lambeth, which helps the bishops, the clergy, to run the Anglican churches worldwide. Now, why is it so that in Britain, the doctrine is the money comes from the offerings? In America, the money comes from trading on stock exchange. Have you ever seen a church trading a broker on stock exchange? Then what church is this? What church is this, Professor Ndawesonga? A church and a medium, a church to be on stock exchange like a Safaricom, earning interest shares, buying 5 planes, showbizing the preacher.
That is a mere business, Dr. Matsanga. It's all about the transaction. And actually, unfortunately, that is what is happening with the majority of churches here in Kenya and the rest of Africa.
Hey, I wanted to bring that story, and I thank you, Wesonga, for agreeing to give me a hand. Look at that. That doctrine is what is killing Kenya. When Anthony General Gifi Mugai wanted to regulate these churches, for them to be regulated, people howled insults. Church leaders threatened to pray for him to have an accident. So you don't know whether this is a church to go to, where a preacher preaches for one of the people to have an accident. You don't know where this is a church where a preacher tells women to take off their underpants. You don't know. Let's be honest. What type of church is this which says the bishop touches the private parts of women? We are allowing our situation in Kenya. We are reaching a very bad magnitude in Africa, where silly doctrines are imported into our churches, where mediocrity has arrived, where money has superseded the doctrine of a church, of healing a soul, changing the soul, building a soul. Hallelujah. We have killed everything, and we have turned ourselves into monsters. We have been enslaved. What happened to Africa? I would like Stephen to play one of the videos of what happened to Africa. Sam, there's that video we played of unfiltered. What happened to Africa? Not the one of the economics of minerals. There is one which which he said we are mentally enslaved. It touches religion. Can you arrange for that video to come? Then you will see the summary of what I'm talking about. When we grew up, when David Livingstone, Huntington, Kraft, Abadeas, Lugard speak, they arrived in Kenya. They never told us we plan to tell women to take over their underpants. But here we are now in a liberal democracy. We tell women that you come with special color of the underpants. Yes, 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 yes. There are churches in Africa that are telling women to come wearing a special type of underpants, or men to wear another special underpants. Yes. What is happening to our churches? So when you reach Kenya, narrow it to the DP and the Sungoi Church Service Express. What do they plan? So you don't blame the bishop. Someone on this panel was blaming the bishop that the bishop was slip of tongue. It is not. It is not. It is not. It is the real thing they do. They are fake. It's not a slip of tongue. Don't tell Kenyans a lie. And if the government does not come in to regulate these churches, we are now in a digital era where a bishop wakes up to tell you he wants to buy a tent. He even says, I want 20,000 from you. Haven't you received messages of that nature? Haven't you? This is what is happening in Kenya. So when you have a man who has a doctrine of changing a government where crisis comes, who's using a church to change a government in Kenya, that man is called George Soros. George Soros thrives where there is a crisis. Can I repeat that? People ask me every day that this Ugandan madman whom they call me mad. I've never gone to Butabika. I've never gone to Madare. Neither have I ever slept in any hospital since 1955. My mother told me I was only injected with a vaccine, and that was all. The last time I saw a hospital was when I broke my hand when I was fighting for Uhuru's government part 2 on the way from Mombasa after doing the coastal rallies. I had an accident. That's the first time I went into a hospital. The one you see speaking to you. A crisis magnified by power-hungry maniacs. Maniacs. Hakuna words mzuri leo. Hungry lunatics. Maybe we are dealing with lunatics. You know, the Kenyan situation we must assess. You have talked of reconciliation in part 1. Why should President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is not a power-hungry maniac, meet a maniac? Perhaps we should sit and ask ourselves, President Uhuru Kenyatta, would as well stay at home. He had whatever he had. He has everything. He has not antagonized anybody. So in a church leader who goes to Sungoi and makes a statement and says, Solomon, 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 Solomon. And then you say he made a mistake. What mistake? That's what they teach. Oh God, that's what they teach. You know, he wants to finish the sermon quickly by lying so that Ruto gives them the band of Gunia. If you find them hiding these things in this suka ya chini council, they are hiding money.
And Doctor, did you understand the message after he said the Solomon thing? Because he spoke in mother tongue and I understood it, what he said. He said,
yeah, you better explain to us.
He said Solomon hit Goliath and with just one stone and he fell, and then Solomon just cut his neck very slowly. He took his time, so it was quite a deeper meaning, whatever he was trying to say. But of course, he got the Bible citations wrong there.
That it is you. You are the doctor. I heard him say that the doctor head. Tibu watu mzuri. You know?
But
what
yeah.
type of church? Oh my Jesus Christ, my children are not here.
But yeah, Oshidano.
Let them stay where they are, where the church is civilized. This is the worst nightmare of a church. This is a church that George Soros wants to play with. Now they don't, such people don't even want to see. If you go and say one word about the deputy president and say no, he's not doing very well, they will chase you out of the parish. That's the Church of Solomon. But it's not coming to Sungoi because they want to come to Sungoi. They are coming because they want to annoy Raila Amolo Odinga. Have you heard me now?
Mm-hmm.
That bishop is from Luoland.
And I hear he's now complaining he was only given 10,000. I think he was supposed to be given more for attending that meeting.
So you go and even make a mistake to get 10,000.
Yes, and that should tell people, Miriam, that all these kind of innuendos that you are treated with by church leaders going to Sugoi and Karen, it's all about money. It's a transaction, and that is what Dr. Matsanga has been saying all along.
It is a transaction. The doctrine of the real church has changed. I want to tell you another thing which will shock you, Miriam. Because underwears did not shake you. Let's come to the real another one. A bishop books a saloon. You go to wait for a barber shop. They tell you they are doing their hair for Sunday. Wacha nikwambie, they are doing the hair for Sunday to impress God. Oh, who? Doesn't God like anybody? Doesn't God like Matsanga's hair as I am? A whole saloon, of late now, the saloon, the barber shops and the salon are limited to 3 people. So you go outside, Your Excellency, President, let him hear this. These are the people coming there to say they want a reconciliation. You go outside, you wait, you find a very long queue. Who is being done inside? Bishop X. And later counter, counter ile ya kupaka anapata kanta, wanakata haka, wanakata 3 hours. These are the bishops we have. They go to the tailors, go to some of the suit shops that sell suits, these cheap suits of Turkey and which I don't wear. You can see my shirt, can tell you it's not from Turkey, Miriam. Even you can see from the collar, you know where they come from, America or Britain. This is cheap coats that people are wearing. You find a very well-organized grown-up man with a coat from Turkey wearing like a baby, like a Wesonga. Wesonga can't wear those. But not Matanga.
Yes.
Not in David Matanga. I can't wear those type of things. Those are stupid things. For either beginners, learners, or crime busters. So someone is wearing these coats not matching, walking around. Now you wear a purple coat. How purple is a color for women. Then you are wearing and telling people, hustler, hustler, hustler. I am hustler. I am hustler. Look at your purple coat. What generation is this? Have you ever seen a purple coat, Miriam? Purple. Purple is for ladies like you. Purple is not for a man. But you find someone has worn with jacket, you know. These are some of the things that are creating the church in this country to have a problem. And therefore, it is very important that the church, we seek very serious audience with the church. George Soros will penetrate, will come through. George Soros will pay the churches. George Soros will dismantle this nation. Otherwise, you can see for yourself. The bishop is complaining that he was given 10,000 because there is no sincerity. There is fakeness. The final part of why the African churches have become evangelical and American showbiz. Drums in Africa are used for burial. Celebrations of wedding, celebrations of death. If you are, we hammer drums. I think Wesonga knows. And we dance when an elderly person has died. But everywhere, church has become a showbiz center with a full-fledged dance, a full-fledged band. What wanacheza like a Congolese? The rumba is inside the. Listen, Miriam, the rumba is inside the pulpit. A bishop, a lady bishop, wriggling her waist. Professor Nyali, Wesonga, and Karanja. If you have, and Miriam, if you have gone in that church and you have never seen a woman for 200 years, how will you leave the church? It's a reality show, this one. A bishop lady wriggling her waist. Have you gone to pray to Jesus, or now you are praying your eyes? She's telling you don't commit adultery. Because if you look only, creates adultery. Did you know that adultery is not that you have gone with another woman? But adultery, if you use the eyes, look at the adultery, the meaning, the original doctrine. If you use your eyes and the saliva is seen here, look here, Miriam. The saliva comes here, you see this thing, you have committed adultery. So imagine a bishop dancing, wriggling her waist in front of 10,000 congregants. Is that a church? Is that a church? And then it's not as if that is not enough. This instrument, these records are played on our national TV. Are you teaching people to wriggle their waists? Is it part of civic education? Which our Senga in Uganda does. I don't know whether Senga does in Ruora. It is a specific job for our aunties to teach people privately how to swing your waists. West, north, south, center. This is the church we have here today. And that's the church that wants to demolish Kenya. The church, the judiciary, link up. You pretend to be a whole chief justice, a Christian goer, a Saturday man. You lie to the public that you are not driving a car in Nakuru. Your bodyguards were never treated in a hospital anywhere in Nakuru. Your driver was never in the steering. And then you produce the driver to earn sick allowance for having been on an imaginary accident. Nyamira. What people did you produce in this country? Professor, I can't hear you. Professor, I can't hear you.
They have learned that their sinners need of a savior.
An accident occurs on Saturday, and you even lie on Saturday. And you are whole chief justice. You lie to the people that the driver was hurt and the bodyguard. They were not on the scene. But you know the digital age of these days. You come out, you are the one in the wrong. You want to beat the driver whom you have knocked, a poor man. Is that a chief justice? Muniambie nyenye. Aterere. Muniambie. Wesonga, tell me. Karanja, tell me.
Dr. Matsanga, and that tells you the kind of cunningness that is there even in the judiciary itself. And of course, reliable reports has it that he has been working in cohorts with these dissidents who are in government, who are trying to sabotage the agenda of the day for the government. And that places his hypocrisy. It places a feeling of no goodwill from the Chief Justice towards the same government that he serves under the judiciary.
Tell me, a whole Chief Justice tells a lie on Saturday, on Seventh Day Adventist, where my friend here, Professor Kama, You are Seventh-day Adventist, isn't it?
Yes, I have said it's a sinner need of a Savior, and not all the people who call God shall see the kingdom.
So you tell me, and then you go back to the judiciary, you draw sick allowances for the driver and the bodyguard who were not on the scene, because you want to cover up to say you were not the one driving a government vehicle. You were not licensed to drive a government vehicle. Checking on the license of the Chief Justice, it had expired. So is this the Chief Justice who brought this cancer to this nation called Kenya? People were surprised. The driver of the car behind walked tall, high to the driver in front, threatening him. The man had his car knocked, and then you go to threaten the man whose car you knocked. Is that the Chief Justice? I rest my case.
All right.
I am looking for that. Have you got the article, the video now?
Yes, the video is ready.
Yeah, please. This is the Africa we have. Weka hiyo kitu.
What is wrong with Africa? What's wrong with us Africans? What is affecting Africa? Where is Africa heading to? When will Africans wake up? What's hindering African unity, prosperity, and progress? Why are we allowing our culture to be detected, distorted, and ruined? Why are we allowing our brains to be stolen? Why are we misinformed, miseducated, or misled by propaganda? Where is egalitarianism in Africa for Africans? It's only because we are on self-mental quarantine. Why have Africans remained slaves? Are we blinkered as Africans? Why are we on mental house arrest? Why are Africans self-centered? Why do Africans believe in survival of the fittest? Why do Africans believe in each man for himself and God for us all mentality? Why are Africans anti-inventory? Why do Africans undermine themselves? Why do Africans believe in begging than investing? Why does tribalism thrive better than unity in Africa? Why do Africans believe in non-African investors? Why do Africans believe that non-African investors will develop Africa? Why are non-African languages regarded as a measure of intelligence in Africa? Is Lindela a South African prison, or it's a quarantine center for African foreigners in Africa? Self-mental quarantine is a deadly disease in Africa more than Ebola, HIV, cancer, malaria, or COVID-19. Our dress code is non-African. Our food is non-African. We have abandoned our natural hair for artificial fiber. They call it hair. We bleach our skin to resemble non-Africans. We have abandoned our culture for non-African culture. We have been made to believe that our religion is witchcraft. Our history is determined somewhere by someone outside Africa. Our future in Africa is in limbo. We have meant to believe in violence more than engagement. We Africans believe in corruption, fraud in the name of connection, not hard working. We are on self-imposed house arrest. First it was the flag following the cross. Now churches are profit-making businesses, benefiting individuals. Jesus fed 5,000 hungry people. African pastors are fed by thousands of hungry people. African traditional religion was about empowering people. Was Paul Kagame wrong by banning money-spinning pastors? How many African countries have leaders who are unifiers, peacemakers like Paul Kagame? Why are we not transforming Africa from rags to riches, from blood to bliss? Why are we on self-imposed house arrest, quarantined in our own mentality? How many Africans are in FIFA executive? How many African countries have hosted FIFA World Cup? How justified is the proportional representation of African teams in FIFA World Cup? Why was JJ Okocha not voted among the best footballers in the world? Why was Didier Drogba denied FIFA Ballon d'Or Gong? Didn't Samuel Eto'o deserve to be an outstanding winner of FIFA Ballon d'Or? Why are South Africa's Benny McCarthy and Quinton Fortune not honored in South Africa for their Champions League triumph? Why is Peter Nsukuzonke Ndlovu not honored in Zimbabwe and Africa at large for his EPL record? What failed Sadio Mane to win FIFA Best Footballer Award after winning Champions League, UEFA Super Cup and Club World Cup? Why was Yaya Toure not the best midfielder during his prime time? Why does CAF give Best African Footballer Award to players playing outside Africa? How many arrests were made when Salim Muntari was racially abused at a fully packed stadium in Italy? What comes to African leaders' minds when seeing European footballers of African descent? Are we really good for nothing as Africans? Are we on self-imposed house arrest? Are we on self-mental quarantine? Why are Africans indebted to their former colonial masters? Why are Africans depositing revenues to their former colonial masters? Why do you compensate colonizers for their land they looted from us? When will Africa's looted resources be compensated? When will slave trade be compensated? When will be sanctions against African countries be removed? Why are blacks treated as an inferior race? Why was George Floyd brutally murdered? How many blacks have been racially and brutally murdered? We fought for independence, but we remain politically, economically, religiously, educational, and spiritually slaves. Oh, Africa, my beautiful motherland. Why was Thomas Sankara assassinated? Was his killer brought to book? Why was Chris Hani assassinated? Why was his murderer released? When will Kwame Nkrumah's United Africa idea be accomplished? When will Nelson Mandela's vision of freedom and better life for all come to effect? Why are African leaders not taking Professor Lumumba's ideas into consideration? Why was Dr. Arikana Chikombori axed from United Nations? How lucky will Africa if we get unifying peacemaking leaders? Where did HIV come from? Where did COVID-19 come from? Why are traditional healers' prescription not respected? Why are traditional healers not recognized, respected and protected? Why are money-spinning pastors praised? Why do Africans need non-Africans' approval and validation for their own homemade vaccine? How many African countries begged Madagascar for their COVID-19 vaccine? What and whose interests, who protected? Why is it anti-Africa? Is Africa a lab for testing vaccines? Are we wrong to tell non-Africans who disrespect us to leave us alone and in peace? Africa is on self-mental quarantine. Fellow Africans, I plead before you all, let's urgently evacuate from self-hate and embark on unity of one Africa, one goal, one government, one vision, one mission, one currency, one common language, free movement of goods and people in Africa, a borderless continent for the biblical Canaan. Surely Africa will be a land of milk and honey one day. My poetry is an earthquake to all Africans. My poetry is alarming to all Africans. My poetry is a wake-up call to all Africans. My poetry is anti-African mental slavery. My poetry is an African weapon against imperialism. My poetry is perfect, proper, professional and pure. I don't rant, but I call a spade a spade. I don't provoke, but I'm vocal and visionary. I'm not a warmonger, but I'm a peacemaker. I'm not a politician, but an African patriotic poet. I am a Pan-African ambassador through poetry. I am the voice of Africa. I am Opet Dube, proudly African, proudly black, proudly Zimbabwean from Lupa.
A piece there. I guess that guy is from South Africa, judging from his accent there. But he's bringing up a lot of issues that I think is forcing us to self-reflect as Africans. Everything about us we've been told is wrong, and while we embrace what comes from outside there, what is considered from white, that is supposed to be okay. Our religion, we are told, is wrong. Our language, we are told, is wrong. And we'd rather have non-Africa developers to come develop here in Africa, but we're not very quick to embrace our own people here to help us develop our continent. What is wrong with us?
Self-quarantined, mentally quarantined. Didn't the man say, we have mentally been quarantined.
Mm-hmm.
We have changed it.
Mm-hmm. Self-imposed.
We now We preach what we don't eat. We preach what we don't drink. You preach wine and drink water, water bring wine. Bishops queue up in nightclubs for kadogos. Hey! We fight with them in nightclubs over slave queens. Then they come in the morning to preach us. Haven't we gone wrong? Look at what Maraga has done. Are we not mentally enslaved? He appoints judges that Uhuru Kenyatta refused to ascend to the judiciary to be the ones hearing the petition to dissolve the parliament. Is he not a villain? Is this man not a wizard? Is he not a hater? How do you bring the judges who had question marks, whom the president refused to sign the list of 41, to come and be the same judges to listen to the cases? Are we not in chaos? So prepare, Kenyans, unless MPs return quickly, the Attorney General is not going to receive a favorable ruling. And prepare yourselves for harder times ahead. The timetable from George Soros was December, January. We live the Christmas will be very bad Christmas. That's what they want to do, Miriam. I rest my case and I am off.
All right. Thank you so much, Daniel, as we conclude.
And don't forget...
Is Karanja still there?
Karanja is there, yes.
I think Karanja should come in, and then Daniel, and then we'll end with the professor.
Mr. Karanja?
Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead now.
Thank you very much, and we have taken what you have said, and that is true. And I think that is why most of the pastors today, they tell you to do what they say, but don't do what they do, because they know they do contrary to what they preach. And I think the church is the best we can do, because that is where we have the most radicalized and the reward fellows in those churches. That is why even the deputy president have realized that if you want to get it easily, you just use the church, because the church gives up this reward. People don't think beyond what the pastor says. And I see the kind of pastors that we have. They have their own Bibles, they have their own interpretation of the word. That is why they tell you that Solomon killed somebody else, and we don't do Goliath, that we don't even see that. And that is the kind of the church that we have today, the church where the constitution has made believe that the pastor is a man of God, and that you wonder who are these people. The pastor is a man of God, and I don't go direct. Then you understand the kind of fellows that we have. They believe everything that they have to say. When they are told that it is saying for pastoralism, they believe that pastoralism is an agenda that has been sent from God. That is why every time you find these bishops are going to England, to Karen and to go, because they want to portray a picture of this country that deputy president and the fellows and the candidates have been sent from heaven. And that is the kind of the church that we have, a very different church from what was introduced to us in the 1950s by the missionaries. Then it has been reduced to a self-imposed religion, where pastors have their own rules. That is why you find most of the churches that have these nations, they have different doctrines, they have the president and the president, when you understand who have sent them, because even when President Kenyatta takes his hand, the deputy president, or the former prime minister, these members of the church who are not the ones who called for that, it's the Kenyans of the goodwill who care for this nation.
All right.
And context have been and I do not help anybody going in the future. They have to make money and to make income from it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Karanja in Nanyuki. Back to you, Miriam, in the studios.
All right, Birbal, Daniel, your final submissions today. Church, judiciary, NGOs, yes. Are they accelerating the hustler doctrine in the country?
Yes, thank you, Miriam. First and foremost, let me just reflect upon that poem by Obert Dube from Zimbabwe. And it clearly outlines the problem, the kind of problem that bedevils the African continent. And you can see here in Kenya, even where the church, which is seen as a hallmark of sobriety, the church which has been working always in the good and the best interest of the people, has decided to disregard the doctrine of Christ and the values of the society, to go in bed with people who have been smeared with impunity, people who have been accused of massive corruption scandals. And therefore, there's a need for a redemption strategy where even the church itself should face some kind of reforms to get rid of these church leaders who are easily swayed by this corruption money, who are only advancing their own selfish interests at the cost of their congregants and the rest of the country. And it's very unfortunate that the church has been caught into this dragnet of advancing the divisive hustler versus dynasty narrative, which puts Kenyans into two classes of society, and it is likely to throw us into the same dungeon that we had in 2007, 2008 of electoral violence. And this is what happened in Rwanda, only that here in Kenya we do have 44 tribes. But now when you bring in the hustler and the dynasty narrative, it makes it more similar to whatever happened there in 1994 in Kigali, Rwanda. So I think it is in wrong design, it is in bad taste, and the church should be condemned for lowering the bar of the altar to such despicable levels. Miriam.
Right, thank you so much, Daniel Basonga, Professor.
These are my submission as we conclude. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "Show me one Christian and I will become one who is a follower of Jesus Christ." Because some of the Christians, what they were preaching or what they were doing was not manifesting what they were saying. And I'm concluding by saying, show me in Kenya today, whether in the judiciary, whether in the NGO world, whether in the church, people who speak the truth. People who speak the truth. People who are honest. People who are transparent. People who are accountable. People who can call sin by its name. People who can call a spade and not a big spoon. Then Miriam, Kenya will be a good country. But the kind of the church where we are today are these subjects who sees their king naked, but they will always tell him, "You are wearing a black suit, and the king is naked." Here is the church. They are going to pick money from the deputy president. They can't speak the good of the country. They can't talk about how we take this country forward. They cannot support the president to realize his four big agenda. They cannot assist the president to fight corruption simply because Miriam, if they say so, they will miss the 10,000 which the Bishop Pesa was getting, and they thought he will get more money. Miriam, we have got a country which I always say that we need to take care. And if there's nothing that we can do to it, let us leave it as it is so that we can be able to earn a secure Kenya to our children. Let us not use the narratives. Let us not use words. Hustlers versus dynasty. Miriam, this is going to cause class war in this country. So one of these days you are going to walk in the streets. Someone who doesn't have a dress, a good dress, is going to ask you, why do you have this kind of dress and I don't have one? Let us come forward and try to fight the challenges facing this country. That's the only way. And if we put God first, genuinely worship God, we will be able to realize. But I want to say, God has never changed the standards. God who said, thou shalt not kill, he has not said in this generation we kill. God is the same yesterday, today, and that's how it will be for eternity. I submit, Miriam.
All right. Thank you so much. Doctor, do you have anything else to add as we conclude? All right.
Miriam,
yes.
I just want to say, take this opportunity to thank you, to thank all the people that we have brought this topic for the sake of the people of Africa and for the sake of the people of Kenya. Truly speaking, NGOs, churches, judiciary have joined hands in this country. If you look at the list that I want to read today, the following people will shock you. And this is what I want to say. Ten years ago, there were people who had different values and who were singing a different song. Today, these gentlemen are in very different. I wanted to read the list. I don't know whether Miriam, for you can pick the list always Songa. But there is something that I have said. There's something that I have said today. And I want to leave it to you people. I see the horizon ahead full of agony unless the MPs of Kenya cancel everything they are doing and return to Parliament. I see the Attorney General of Kenya alone cannot manage this conspiracy by Maraga, Harvey, plus the main traitor man whose name my tongue can chew, but not my mouth. You know, you want to pronounce Miriam's name, but you can't pronounce it. The tongue says, don't. But the mouth can say it. Okay? I see another danger. That the whole court, some people are getting worried that there is a Rio Grande plot to create chaos against President Uhuru Kenyatta's government. There is an axis of evil that is determined to fragment Kenya. I see the pain, the anguish, Miriam, when NGOs, church, and the judiciary join hands to fragment their own country. I rest my case.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. David Matanga.
Miriam,
Thank you, Professor.
There is this Kiptanui. He has written something very good about. Have you seen it?
Is it the one that
the
says,
church has been used to sanitize corruption?
Mm-hmm.
All churches, even those like Coptic Church led by John Pesa, are trooping to Karen or Sugoi for handouts. Church is no longer condemning corruption. Judiciary is now running to protect the corrupt individuals and has teamed up with the NGOs
to bring the government of President Uhuru Kenyatta to its knees. The hustler narrative is a pure scheme to incite Kenyans against the leaders.
The narrative is pure scheme to incite Kenyans against the leaders and each other. 2007-2008 is repeating itself, rooting and bringing chaos. The National Cohesion and Integration Commission, NSI, something like that, take charge. National Intelligence, let them take charge. Kenyans are also sharing the same views like us.
All right, thank you.
I've shared the views. I don't know whether you have read my piece of 5 a.m. Kiptanui must have copied from me.
All right, thank you. Dr. Rhodes.
Then you are causing impacts. You are educating.
And thank you, Professor, for bringing that to our attention. But also, Doctor mentioned it earlier, and he wrote about it on 5 a.m. Thoughts. Thank you so much, Daniel, Wesonga, and Karanja, of course.
Miriam, before you finish, the names are here. Okay. Wesonga, you have the names on my Facebook. Can you read the 24 names?
Yes, I'll just proceed and read them. Yes, and the names are okay. Yes, we have number 1 at Boni Halwale, Hassan Omar, Johnson Mudhama. Yes, we have Boni Halwale, Hassan Omar, number 2. Number 3, we have Johnson Mudhama, the former senator for Machakos. Number 4, we have Martha Karua, the former MP for Gishugu. Number 5, it is Miguna. And number 6, David Ndii. And number 7, we have Mohammed Ali. Number 8, we have activist Boniface Mwangi. Number 9, it is Eliud Owalo. Number 10 is Elgeyo Marakwet Senator Kipchumba Murkomen. Number 11 is Nandi Governor Sang. Number 15 is Maina Kiai. Number 16 is Gatundu South Member of Parliament Moses Kuria. Number 17 is Gladwell Otieno. And number 18 is Kegoro. Number 19 is Jonjo Moe. And 20 is lawyer Haron Dubi. Number 21 is the Chief Justice David Kenani Maraga. And number 22 is Justice Philip Waki. And lastly, we do have Mohaji Chopego, who is an MP for Nyali. And number 24 there, closing the list, is none other than Dr. Willie Mutunga, the former Chief Justice. And that is the list, Masanga, that we have here.
It came from me. It came from me, isn't it?
Yes. This is an article that you did quite early in the morning about whatever happens 10 years ago in regards to the cases at the Hague ICC on President Uhuru Kenyatta and the Deputy President William Ruto.
Okay, you have listened to those names. You are a viewer on this program. Find out what is their common denominator 10 years ago. Goodbye. God bless you.
Bye-bye, and thank you for watching.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.